Welcome to this episode of Star Wars Declassified, where we look into different facts and stories revolving around the Star Wars canon, universe, and lore. This week we'll be looking into the behind-the-scenes history of Emperor Palpatine and his journey from becoming an obscure nobody to one of the greatest Sith Lords the galaxy had ever known. Pablo Hidalgo of the Lucasfilm Story Group recently tweeted out the behind-the-scenes evolution on everyone's beloved Emperor. And seeing as I always found this story to be quite interesting, I wanted to add just a little bit more depth to it than Twitter's character limit will allow. So here we go. Now, Emperor Palpatine, the ruthless Sith Lord, ruler of the Galactic Empire and master to Darth Vader, was not always the same individual that we saw on screen. In fact, his existence was rather limited as he was never even supposed to have lived through A New Hope. This is because the earliest story ideas on the unnamed emperor had him already absent or assassinated during the events of the Star Wars 1977 movie. Yeah, you heard that right. He had no name and literally no story or interest surrounding him. In fact, he was just a regular guy, not a powerful, devious Sith Lord that we know him to be today. Fortunately, by the time A New Hope script was finalized, things started to improve just a little bit for our no-name emperor. It was then when the Emperor was actually given a name as Emperor Palpatine, and surprisingly he wasn't dead either, and was given an actual backstory. It really is very similar to Palpatine's current canon political story, where as a senator he was able to play the system into becoming the Supreme Chancellor. Similar to here, where it was through the help of restless, power-hungry individuals that saw Palpatine become President of the Republic, without the need of having to play both sides in a politically instrumented fake war. Additionally, George Lucas had decided it would have made more sense for Palpatine to continue to be alive during the events of the first movie, but the trade-off was with him becoming a largely withdrawn puppet leader of the regime. Now, Lucas still wanted a backstory for the Emperor, as he is mentioned briefly in A New Hope. So whatever backstory we did get on the Emperor at this time was included in the Star Wars 1976 novel. But other than that, he was still pretty much a normal human character. Palpatine did not actually become a Force user until around the time of development for The Empire Strikes Back, as more thought went into developing his character and backstory once it was decided that he would be actually making an appearance in the movie. It was then determined that Palpatine had Force powers, and was a feared ruler of the Empire, rather than only a simple puppet leader as he was before. Furthermore, the idea of Palpatine becoming a powerful Force wielder was introduced by the film writers, presumably to better sell the idea that he was in fact Darth Vader's boss. Finally, it wasn't until 1998 that anyone even knew he was a Sith Lord, a fact only revealed in the Star Wars Encyclopedia by Steve Sansweet. Granted, audiences did see Palpatine use Force powers in Return of the Jedi, but at that point Palpatine was still only seen as a crazy evil space wizard that Vader feared, as he could shoot lightning from the tips of his fingers. So as far as anyone knew at the release of the Return of the Jedi, Vader was the one and only Sith in that movie. But of course, despite going from a literal nobody who was killed off before the first Star Wars movie had even started filming, to a strange, ugly, evil old man with lightning powers, George finally decided it was time to give Palpatine some much needed love, as it was the prequels which made Palpatine a star. But despite his future already being told in the 1976 Star Wars novel, his name and fate was new to many. And as for his first name, Sheev, it wasn't until 2009 where Palpatine officially received his first name to go along with his surname, during the development of the live-action Star Wars television show, Star Wars Underworld. The show was to be set during the time between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and was to be based on the Imperial capital homeworld of Coruscant, where of course Palpatine ruled from. Unfortunately, despite the show having made already 50 scripts produced, the project was put on hold due to budget constraints, and then ultimately cancelled as a result of the Disney buyout of 2012. Palpatine's character would have really benefited from the show, with actor Ian McDiarmid set to guest star in it, allowing for the Emperor to be further fleshed out in the series, but alas, that wasn't the case. Fortunately, even though we didn't get the TV series, Disney still continued to help evolve Palpatine's character more through both the novels and comics. adding more and more to his character with each issue. And that will do it for this week. Let me know if I missed anything and what Star Wars content you would like for me to cover in future videos. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, along with subscribing to the channel to not only support it, but keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon and lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars related content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.